So, I don't know, how familiar are you with City Saavy?
Pretty familiar. I mean, I've been here for almost 20 years, so I've had some of my employees who were uh, employee of, who made the City Saavy employee list.
Alright, okay. So I've been writing with them for about 4 years now,
Okay.
and we do a section called work-life balance. So
Okay.
this is what this is going into. It's basically City of Houston employees with interests outside of the City of Houston
Okay.
that have interest in.
Okay.
Believe it was Aaron Jones, the communications director,
Right.
that told me about you
Okay.
and everything that's going on. I went back and I started looking up what went on that City tragedy. Is there anything new with that going on?
No, unfortunately, it was just circumstances were against us. The location, the time of night, the amount of people, and the unwillingness, I guess, to speak up. Because out of 200 people,
Yeah.
somebody knows.
Right.
Somebody knows something. Somebody saw something. So, our plea, all the time is, on all of my social media posts, on the interviews I've done, on the events that Crash Out participates in, is, look, if you know something, say something.
Well, I want to talk specifically about the scholarship itself. I will probably ask some questions regarding the grandson, but I
Okay.
really want to kind of focus on that. And I guess basically it's been, almost it happened in March last year, right?
March 10th, correct.
March 10th, so almost 1 year. So my first question is essentially, how are you and your family holding up with all of this?
It's really hard to say. We put on our game face. We go about our day-to-day business. Everybody handles it kind of in a different way. His mother, she was finally able to go back to work maybe 3 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
So she had been off since then. So she was finally able to go back to work then.
That was his mother?
Right. Yeah. She works for traffic operations.
Okay.
So she handled it like that. My wife, his grandmother, she's kind of not in denial, but she's like, he's still here.
Okay. Right.
And for me, it's I'd say for me it's the most painful because from the time he was 7 years old, he was my constant companion because he's been playing youth sports since he was 7. Football, basketball, track. So and we did everything together, and it seems like wherever I go, I have a memory of him, and also the Facebook post. Hey, I found a picture of him. They go on, they play for this game. They go on TV. They hold up his jersey. They come by the house, So it's kind of difficult, but
The reminders?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's almost constant reminders. It's like one of his teammates' mother. She has a kind of clothing line, and they have jogging suits. And on the corner of the jogging suit, it's got LL10 Visa, and that's part of the brand. So, it's, sometimes I feel like I just want to go and just disappear, but I can't do that because somebody has to go. Keep it going, keep going.
About the scholarship itself, it's intended to bring awareness about gun violence, I understand. So what does it consist of, and is there a scholarship amount that you guys have?
So really, I'm gonna back up a little bit because really it's kind of more than a scholarship.
Okay.
Okay, so shortly after he was murdered, and in our effort to kind of cope with the whole deal, the idea came up and said, hey, let's create a foundation in his honor. And through conversations, okay, so what do we want? What is the foundation about? What are we going to do? So we're going to talk about, we're going to speak out against, senseless gun violence, number one. But also we want to promote responsible gun ownership. The other thing, we want to find out some kind of way to help kids with youth sports and other things. So we came up with the idea that on the sports part, we were going to sponsor kids for youth football who otherwise may not have been able to play because of the registration fee.
Okay.
And that came from, well, when he was just starting off 7, 8 years old, I was at a practice with him, and there was a kid standing next to me while the other kids were practicing. I asked him, and I looked and said, son, what's wrong? You don't like football? And he kind of put his head down. And I kind of left it alone. And after the practice was over, I asked the coach, I said, Coach, you got a kid over there, we're shorthanded. What's wrong with that kid right there? And he says, Coach, he wants to play, but his people can't afford the registration. And so I think I started then, personally, I would sponsor one kid from that team like every year. So this seemed like a natural extension of what we were already doing. And our foundation, Crash Out for Cause, would be the sponsoring body. So this past year, we sponsored a kid from 4 teams on the east side for youth football. Now, we don't pick the kid. We donate the money to the organization and let them use the money as see fit. So then we start talking about scholarships. So we picked North Shore High School, Channelview High School, and Houston Public Works to be the recipients of the scholarship. And let me make it clear, Crash Out doesn't want to pick the kid or anything. Crash Out will donate the money to the organization. So we want to donate the money to Houston Public Works, and based on, we have some loose criteria, and I'll just go over a few. And we want a student athlete. It doesn't matter which sport, but we want the student athlete. We want them to have at least a 3.5 grade point average. We want them to be involved in the community. We would like to see, we want to see if you played varsity on this school. And
now, is that a disqualifier if you did not?
No, it's going to be a preference. Because the people I've talked to, they that's tough. No, it's not. Let me tell you this. My grandson played on one of the top 10 high school football teams in the country. He started for 2 years. He was all-district, first team all-district linebacker. He was VITE all-city team, defensive team. He did all of this, and he maintained a 4.2 grade point average. He had college courses because he was a dual credit student. So if he can do it, and his other teammates can do it, we feel that anybody can do it. One of the things I think we do today is we lower our expectations, and we shouldn't do that. We should raise our expectations. So that's how we came up with the criteria. So.
Okay, fair enough. So this is almost an obvious question. You probably have talked it as we're going, but I just want to reiterate and ask again. Why did you envision creating a scholarship as a way to honor your grandson?
Well, I saw some. ABC 13 did a story on him because he is student athlete of the week. And they did a big spread on him, and along with that, he had a scholarship check for $250, and that always stuck in my mind. And I said, hey, we could do something like that. And also, when North Shore would have the academic awards, we would go to those. There would be nonprofits similar to ours that would, have scholarships for certain things in memory of this person, or because this happened, or because that happened. So we just follow right along.
Before we continue with that, is there a scholarship amount you have, or is it
It's
set?
going to be $500.
$500. Okay. All right. And so you have the scholarship amount, and you envision this as a way to honor your grandson. Wow.
Because everybody's not going to be full ride, Power 5 athlete. And I see on a daily basis kids who are athletes or kids who are going away to college, and either they have a partial scholarship or something else is going on. And one of the things they say, well, we're not having a party, but can you cash app? This is my cash app. Anybody who wants to donate for my necessities, do it like that. So we look at this. $500 won't get you through school, but $500 may get you some towels or some toiletries or a chair or a table or something like that to help you along the way.
Absolutely. And he was going
going to Lamar.
Committed to Lamar University, right?
He went to Lamar, right?
Okay, yeah, that's a good school.
Right.
It's a good school.
So, as a matter of fact, we were there. Yeah, he got murdered on Saturday. We were there for a visit on Thursday.
At Lamar, the Thursday prior?
Right.
Wow. I can't even imagine that.
So we go to Lamar because, he went to Lamar he was going to Lamar as a preferred walk-on.
Okay.
Because of his size, they underestimated him. But if anybody who's ever seen him play, in the state championship game in 2023, which we lost to Duncanville by a score, he had 11 tackles in that game. He led the team in tackles by his size.
Yeah, Duncanville is not a slouch program at all.
No.
Duncanville is very small.
The running back, Caden Durham, texted me, once everybody found out, he said, hey, he will be missed because he said, hey, the boy rang my bell a few times. So, we've heard from, and that's why, it's important for us to kind of keep his name alive or keep the things, especially keep the things that he stood for alive. We had the boys over to the house on Christmas. We had them over the New Year. His teammates come by. They want to sit in his room. Somebody drove up, one of his friends, and said, hey, I told Javon that when I got my car, I would come by and let him see it. I just got my car. I just wanted to come by here and take a picture. And it's like, who was this kid?
That's got to be something that's got to make you feel some kind of way that all these athletes that come up with your side or didn't even know them are just really, reaching out to the family. That's got to be something.
It is something.
Yeah.
Also, one of the other things this has done is shortly after Javon was murdered, I read on the news of a young man in Georgia, not too far from Atlanta, who was murdered under similar circumstances. He was a year younger than Javon, but he was coming from prom with one of his teammates, and somebody pulled up next to him in the car on the road and shot in the car and killed him. So I did a little research and found out a little bit more about the young man. His name was Darius Bryant.
Okay.
And he was, like I said, he was a year younger than Javon, but he played football, he played basketball. He was a state track champion in Georgia. So I reached out to his people, and they saw what we were doing with Crash Out for Cause. And since then, they have created a similar nonprofit in Georgia called DB2 Foundation. And they are doing some of the same things in Georgia that we are doing here in Houston.
That is basically, again, speaking out on gun violence.
Correct.
Talking about responsible gun ownership, creating scholarship
Absolutely.
for civilian athletes. Speaking of gun ownership, are you a gun owner yourself?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So this topic really does resonate with you.
Right. And we have I have a gun safe. We have gun locks, and that's one of the other things. We have a partnership with the Houston Police Department Public Affairs Division, and they provided us with gun locks free of charge that we pass out to gun owners at some of the events we attend. We have literature about responsible gun ownership. I have other information about gun violence, missing stats and stuff. So.
In the literature, are you producing it yourselves, or are you getting it from where?
No, well, some of it, it's hard to get like printed pamphlets, but you can go on the internet and find a bunch of stuff, and so that's what we do. I go, find something. HPD recommended some stuff. Some of the other organizations where we go. One of the organizations is called Be Safe. They promote responsible gun ownership through gun safes and things like that. So we get information from them, and then I'll go get the pamphlets printed, go to Quick Copy or someplace and get 50 or 100 pamphlets printed. So that's what we do.
My final question for you: what key takeaway do you want people to understand? And this will let you know, probably won't be my final question.
Right. Oh, that's fine.
Follow up on. But what key takeaway do you want readers to understand about the significance of the scholarship and the foundation effort?
Okay, so our foundation, Crash Out for Cause, when people find out what we've done, they look at me with amazement and say, I don't understand how we did it. So the foundation was started in March, and we went through all the steps, and we received a letter from the Internal Revenue in June that we had been approved for 501c3 status. So with that, people feel, hopefully feel a lot more comfortable about, supporting our cause. But Crash Out, people ask, where did the name come from? On the back of his leather jacket, under his name, his nickname Beezy, he had Crash Out. And I know what that meant, That's how he lived his life. He didn't do half things. He didn't do anything, halfway, but to me, it seemed like practice. But I asked him after the second time that he played at Cowboy Stadium, say, how did it feel? Yeah. He's like, what? I'm like, how did it feel? You played on the Dallas Cowboy Stadium. This is AT&T. 50,000 people there watching you, and he looked at me and said, "It's a football field, man." And that's how he did everything with his studies, with his athletics. And we want to just let everybody know that although he was an exceptional kid, there are plenty other exceptional kids around the world, around the country, around your neighborhood. And we never know because people are so caught up in the me that they forget that there's other people around them. So we hope that through our efforts with the scholarships, with the sponsorships of youth football, we just sponsored, in conjunction with another nonprofit, 2OGs, $500 sponsorship to Eastside Basketball Organization. We want to show that, hey, we want to give you an opportunity to do the things that you love, and from that, the sky's the limit.
So final two questions.
Yes.
Your first question, what do you think Jalal would say about all of this? And then second, what would you want to say to Jalal about this?
It's the toughest from last. What would he say? Oh, man. I got one word that he would say, and this is what he texted me after we lost the Duncan Bridge. We were on our way back, and he texted me one word, man. That's what he would say.
Man?
He kind of drew it out. This man. And I understood.
What did it mean by that? What did you understand it to mean?
It was just, everything that he felt is in that one word, because I later found out, that, you know, he gave it his all, but some of the other people, you know, had their mind on other things. And that man meant that all we had to do was play our game, and we would have won. And we would have left with the win. Yeah. What would I want him to say? Is that your other question?
What would you want to say to him?
The only thing that I could say to him is, you know, and this is something that I think about all the time. You know, I mean, I don't worry about it, but I just miss you.
Is there anything else you would like to add that I did not ask?
I would like to add that, you know, with people's help from around the country and, you know, everywhere else, Crash Out for Cause is able to do the things that we're doing. And, you know, we plan on expanding, you know, the sponsorship for youth sports, from football to basketball to track. We want to continue with the scholarships, and we want to continue, you know, speaking about gun violence. And the only way we have been able to do that is with people's support. So you can go to our website, which is crashoutforcause.org, or if you mess up and put com.com, it'll redirect. It's a lot of information on the page, upcoming events, and some pictures. It shows the people on our board, the foundation board, which is my family, you know, my wife, my 3 daughters. And I can't downplay the support I get from my brothers and sisters who moved here from Chicago I would like to think they moved here to be close to me, but I know they were tired of the cold weather. But
right.
My brothers and sisters and their spouses, they have just been, you know, people say they don't see how I do it. And my response is, if not me, who? You know, it's nothing more than I would like to do and like kind of curl up in the corner and in the dark and feel sorry for myself, but I can't do that because, you know, if not me, who? You know, I have to continue. So, but please, I'm asking people go to the website, check it out, help us continue to help.